Hello, welcome to The Other Side. I'm your host, Mike. In this video, I'm simply looking to give an introduction to what this is and why I'm doing it. The Other Side started out as a Facebook web page wherein I sought to present theories and philosophies regarding the supernatural possibilities of the world we know nothing about. Eventually, I changed the page into a group where the objective was to discuss any matter in a civilized capacity so that we could discuss differing points of view on any variety of topics. Eventually, however, it turned into just another political discussion group. But the objective remained to have a civil discourse regarding any subject. Just happened that most subjects were political, especially in our world of ever-growing political division. The rules were simple. No insults, no slander. Address the points being made. Don't sidetrack to alternative points to distract from having to answer the main point. And when people got off track, they were called out. If they continued, eventually they would be removed from the group. Eventually, the division became too obvious, and the same people started making the same arguments over and over. So, that group still exists, but has very rare interaction at this point. But, I like the message that came from it. The idea that we look at and address the other side of a point of view without attacking it, without being insulting, rude, inconsiderate. That we can at least listen, even if we don't agree, and have a rational discussion. Ultimately, if possible, maybe we can even find some middle ground on the subjects. I consider myself a centrist, to which I have received a good bit of criticism, but I still hold pride in the fact. Though, if I'm being honest with myself, I can admit that I do lean a bit more left. And in today's world, I find that becoming more and more true. Well, okay, it's not that I'm exactly leaning more left than I have before. It's just that the right is starting to depart from what I agree with. They're changing their views more than I'm changing mine. My views still remain the same as they ever were, but the conservative views seem to either be they're either changing or they're just becoming more exposed than what I thought they were before. Either way, I don't think I'm getting more liberal. I'm just agreeing less with conservatives. I guess that's the world today. I'll be honest, a lot of what I'll probably discuss will go into a great deal as to why I'm finding the Conservative Party harder and harder to agree with. Well, maybe not a great deal, but at least some of it. I don't really have an agenda on what's to come. Mostly I'm hoping to take up whatever issue is popular of that day and offer my own take on it. That said, I do acknowledge that I'm not always looking for a central opinion. There are plenty of times when I want to simply offer up a point of view and address questions or concerns that I see from what I consider to be the opposition, and to say on why I feel a certain way. Which, I'll grant, does seem fairly contrary to what I had just said a few minutes ago, but I've come to the conclusion that being open-minded doesn't mean just accepting anything that you're told. It means being willing to listen to the points of views of your opposition and come up with real responses to those points. To truly have reason for your views, and not just because it's what you blindly believe. It's not what you were raised with, not what you grew up with, and that's why you believe it. I do consider myself open-minded, and if I hear logic or reasoning that really makes sense, or even if I'm given straight up evidence to facts that are contrary to my own, I am open to changing my viewpoints. But, as they say, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and a lot of the times that evidence just isn't there. And there will be times that I will seek to address that lack of evidence on certain subjects. But in this day and age, when everyone has their own political commentary channel, why do I offer up something that's probably already been done to death? And really, I don't anticipate any actual audience in these videos. To begin, I have no experience in making videos. I don't know how to make videos look cool or do the fun transitions or appeal to any kind of aesthetics. Maybe that's partially why I'm doing them, is to gain experience doing those things, learn a little bit about how to do that kind of stuff while presenting some kind of content. Either way, I simply just have a message that I want to share with anyone that will listen. What's important to me is working to close that ever-growing divide. This is my effort to try and help the different sides understand one another and, God willing, come to some kind of reasonable compromise that the majority of the population can agree upon. I believe that you can't have too many people working to try to reduce the division that we are going to see all over the world today. And for the most part, that's what this channel is about. I hope to see someone join me on my journey, and if no one does, I'll continue to make it as best I can. My name is Mike, and at the time I have no closing tagline.